What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. You got Derek here with you. I am back in the original office here. And we're going to talk a little bit, guys, about some media availability that was made out on the Colts YouTube channel just today, actually. So if you guys want to go and check those out, be sure to go do that as well. I think a couple guys got to talk to today was basically Grover Stewart, Quenton Nelson, and Kenny Moore. Those are the guys that, had been talking and just gathering some tweets here and re-listening to the videos that were being talked about. Some of the biggest, I think, it's funny to hear all of the guys talking with them about, this new quarterback, right? That, Anthony Richardson being in the building. And they asked that from Quenton Nelson's perspective and from Grover Stewart's perspective. Talking about the Quenton Nelson recap first, talking about him with Anthony Richardson, saying that, what he can do on the field is pretty extraordinary. Some of the things that he's capable of doing is truly remarkable when you want to look at it from that perspective. And of course, like I said, he's as physically gifted a quarterback as anything. Says the game film is more important than his physical attributes, though. Seeing some of the spectacular plays he made and the throws he made definitely speaks more volume. And, they asked him, like, how does it feel to know there's a different quarterback that most likely is going to be around for a while? And he said, yeah, that's definitely different. Says it's nice to, not have to keep going back and forth with quarterbacks and finally have the guy here who, you can build something with. So that's definitely a great piece of knowledge there. It's something that we've all been saying. And then, Quenton Nelson was also talked about, how the offensive line can get back to its original shape of where it was just a few years ago. And he said, just putting in more work and, spending more time outside of the locker room. So maybe that was something that, maybe the O-line unit kind of stopped being so tight knit with each other. Maybe that was something that caused, all these guys to really, go the opposite direction. So not 100% sure on that, but nevertheless, he did say, we got to put more work in. We got to come together as a unit more in order for this to really be a thing. So that was pretty much it from Quenton Nelson's perspective. When we're talking about Grover Stewart, said actually when they asked him about Anthony Richardson, he said that was actually the guy that I wanted. He said he was excited when the Indianapolis Colts drafted him. So, I mean, you're seeing it. I mean, the guys around the locker room before they even see what he's like, are saying that they love what this kid can bring and what he's going to be able to provide for the Indianapolis Colts going forward. So it'll be interesting to see how it is. Even the defensive guys are excited about what he can bring for them. Said, that guy can throw when he's big, so it's hard to get him down. So Grover Stewart knows how it is. They were even asking him about, what it's like for him in the offseason. Says Grover Stewart admits this time of year is a little difficult for him. So I have to calm myself down because sometimes you want to grab someone and choke them when it comes to, when it comes to this sort of time where, they don't know what's going on and everything, but it is what it is. But, it's and he's talking more specifically about OTAs and whatnot. So, as a veteran guy who hates doing them, it is what it is. But the other guy that we talked with was Kenny Moore that they talked with today. And side note, he was actually graduating from Valdosta State this weekend. Said that he still had a year and a half left in credits when he entered the NFL, so he kept knocking off credits throughout his career, but said he wanted to get back and finish. And he did in a Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership with minors in Political Science and Public Administration. So good job to Kenny Moore for getting that done. I know that definitely can be a lot. And then, the big thing was, talking with Kenny about, what he's been doing in the offseason, how he's preparing for next year. Stated, there was a point last year I didn't think I'd be here in 2023. He said, but after some tough talks with Chris Ballard and Gus Bradley, said be grown men and accept it and embrace it. And they worked through his frustrations. And Zach Kiefer stated that he seems very pleased to be back. So, I did wonder, I'm sitting here now and I'm thinking about it, just like how much did the contract frustrations, leak out to Kenny Moore's playing ability? Because ever since Kenny Moore has been in Indianapolis, he was one of the cornerstones of this defense. I mean, up until this last year with Stephon Gilmore, Kenny Moore has been the best corner in our secondary for the previous 4 years. So it was very, very strange to see, this year where all of a sudden there's this contract drama going on behind the scenes. And then all of a sudden he's playing really bad this last year. It really doesn't take a rocket scientist, I think, realize that maybe something was going along with that. So, it hopefully that now things kind of went through and, he's got something else working on. Maybe this year he actually, has a clearer direction and can get back more to his prime point because, we really need him, especially with the fact that, Isaiah Rodgers is not going to be your number one corner. You drafted Julius Brents and Darius Rush and Jalen Jones, who you're hoping these guys can battle it out for that other outside spot. And then you have Kenny Moore. You need somebody to be that leader, to be that veteran leader in that spot. And, Kenny Moore's got to be that guy. So hopefully this year we see him bounce back and all of that. Because from what it sounds like is he's, taking the initiative and getting better from himself and everything else. So that's a good sign. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Just a quick recap of, media availabilities that went on today. Nothing crazy to really talk about. There's plenty more that we can discuss later on. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.